Everybody, pack opening addict here. This is gonna be a different video. There's no product. Just me talking into a microphone. This is a warning. This is going to be a bit of a rant video. There's going to be probably some language used if I get a little too fired up. So if you do not want any of that, then I would suggest please check out my video earlier today. It was an amazing Time Spiral Remastered battle. Go to that video. You can leave this one. I need to talk about this crap that took place today. I don't make videos like this, but this is freaking ridiculous. There we go. I said freaking instead of fucking. Good. Good start. All right. I kind of want to take us through some ideology around products and the decisions that get made on a corporate level when you are trying to price a product out properly / the decisions you make when you create a product. I thankfully have some experience with this in my normal life, so I feel like I understand it, right? So right off the bat, when you are making a product, or really anything, right? Decisions. Folks, this is going to be a bit disjointed as I get my thoughts together because I have so many all running through my head at one time right now, as I'm sure many of you do. So, anything that you do, any decisions that are ever made, there is no such thing as a perfect decision. Every single decision is going to have positives or pros or things that it positively affects, or it's going to have negatives or cons or things that just aren't really going to either benefit or actually will get hurt by the decision. That's sometimes the hard part of decision making, is you are trying to make a bunch of decisions that keep bringing positive to the party, and try not to make the negative decisions, or what you think will be the positive is what you're trying to make, right? So, I know not everybody wants to hear this next part, and because there's so many large differences in ideology of people that play Magic. It's people all the way over here and all the way over there, just like the rest of the world with everything, huh? Anyway. It is a collectible card game. Magic the Gathering is a collectible card game. It always has been a collectible card game. Since the very beginning of the game, it's been a collectible card game. Let's establish that fact, okay? Which means you're going to have players, you're going to have collectors, and you're going to have the people in the middle who do a little bit of both. Okay, so you're going to have three different audiences. The reserve list was created, to really inspire confidence in the collectible aspects of the game. Okay? Because again, to drive product, you have to try to appeal to all three of those. We know Magic the Gathering is an amazing game. I freaking love it. I care about it. That's why I'm making this video. It's an amazing game. We all agree there. It's phenomenal. I'm sorry, all the rest of you companies, you just don't even come close. You just don't, okay? Yeah, Flesh and Blood might be neat, and I'd like to try it at some point, but come on. Magic is... the number of different ways you can build stuff, it's fantastic. Anyway. Collectibles. I also have done a lot of collectibles in my life, right? This is not foreign territory to me. And I also do like the collectible aspect of Magic the Gathering. That feeling of gotta catch them all, I guess you can say, because Pokemon, of course, is kind of dominating the collector space. And they almost built themselves around that reality. But you have to, so when you make a product and you have boxes and the boxes have to go out there, if they have no collectability, boxes will never get opened by hardly anybody besides the players, but there won't be any market really to get singles, okay? You have to have that, because then otherwise, no shop ever would open a box if every single box was, or if you get them at distributor pricing and it's automatically, no matter what, way below what you paid, right? You just won't do that. You're going to sell the boxes. You're going to sell the boxes and that's it. So it means the players then, instead of this whole buy singles mentality, which, don't get me wrong, I buy singles too, instead of, hunting sometimes, even though I hunt a lot on the channel. It's kind of what the channel is. But, where was I going with that? So, singles. All right. So the buy singles crowd, you wouldn't have singles if it wasn't for the collectability side. Because the cards wouldn't have any value. Okay? They'd have no value. So nobody would open them to sell them. So all you'd be able to do is buy packs. That would be all you have. It's kind of what we're seeing in Flesh and Blood almost right now, I feel like. Because like newer sets, like they have no collectability kind of, and people are still playing it, but it's almost like you have to buy a product. I don't know if that's fully true, but nonetheless. So that's why you have to have the ecosystem, okay? The ecosystem has to exist in something like this to keep it going. And frankly, Magic has had, overall, an incredibly healthy ecosystem. No question, they're killing it in that space between the players and the collectors and the people in the middle, okay? And a lot of us are in the middle, let's be honest, right? A lot of us are in the middle. As much as we'd all like to be able to get every single card we want for dirt cheap and not actually have to spend any money, that's just not reasonable, folks. It's just not how life works, okay? Anytime there's a limited number of something made, it's going to have the collector side. Okay? And again, it's not, in fact, it is healthy to have that in this type of product. But we continue on with Reserve List. Reserve List is, it was created to instill confidence. A lot of cards are put on there. To be honest, a lot of those cards that are on there, does it even matter that they're part of the Reserve List? Really? Like, does it actually matter? The game, the power creep has taken place that most of those cards don't really matter. And yes, then you get into the big ones, right? I mean, even if we just go by sets, your Eurekas and Tabernacles and your Mizra's Workshops. God, I'd love to get one of those. Or your Baghdad's, right? Your Bizarre Baghdad's. And then, of course, into your Power 9 and Time, Vault and all those reserve list cards from there, which some of those are quite powerful, but you can't play them in a lot of formats. So they are collector pieces at this point. It just is what it is, right? They're collector pieces. Yeah, you can play Legacy. And some of the cards, I think only one of the Power 9, Time Twister, I think is the only one. But the rest of the Power 9, I think, is banned in Commander. But there are many other cards that can be played in Commander off the reserve list, and Lord knows dual lands. So anyway, a lot of those cards don't actually truly matter that much because of the power creep that's taken place. So in the end, they became collectible. And I will admit, I would have been a fan, had they chosen to do it, of a slow growth to the reserve list over time. Maybe after like a printing or two of something, right? And again, that goes back to the keeping the collectability side rolling to keep people wanting to buy boxes, which kind of takes me to what's been going on since they didn't go that route. And I understand why they didn't go that route, because there's already enough backlash around the reserve list in the first place. So like, I get it. From a PR perspective, adding to the reserve list, people would have flipped the fuck out. The reality is, it would have been really healthy for the game. Super healthy. Instead, they had to look at sports cards, right? They had to be like, okay, well, then I guess we're going to go with the flashy variant era. And of course, I'm not going to go through every single little thing, but which started small, with the extended arts. And then they kind of brought in borderless and extended arts. And then they started, I should say showcases. Then they brought in borderless, right? So they started bringing in, and all of a sudden, you've got like 4 or 5 versions of the same mythic in a set. And yeah, it starts to go down the path of when, everything's special. Nothing is special. The goal, though, still was real. The goal was to both appease this person and this person. Theoretically, having flashier versions does make the base versions easier to get, and frankly, I think we've seen that. The collectors then have something to go after, because they want the flashy, cool version that is more rare, right? So they want that, which has kind of happened. I don't want to fully call that successful, but I don't want to call it a failure yet either. I think it's been successful in certain ways. The problem is how Wizards decides to actually go about doing it. Okay, and yes, this will end up with a point with everything that happened today. How they decide to go about doing it, okay? Freaking Wizards. Jesus Christ. All right. You decide to create boxes in which then you've got certain spots that will have certain cards in them. Some spots will have more cards, some spots will have less cards. So you're completely changing the variance. And I have two particular more recent examples of this. And the problem is first off, Double Masters 2022 collector boxes, where you had the foil etched, which had all of the cards. So 4 packs per box, a total of 160 cards you could pull out of the foil etched slot. Same thing with the regular rare slot, right? Regular rare regular pack foil version. Then you had the borderlesses. Now, the borderlesses were kind of where, that's where Double Masters original really had that. That was the hotness, right? Those are amazing. I love them. But you made too many mediocre rares. Yes, and we can go back to Double Masters where, they did have things like Goblin Guide or Expedition Map or the Ursulines. But the overall was there wasn't way more rares than mythics overall, right? So your odds were still pretty good at getting a mythic. I felt like that was highly diluted in Double Masters 2022. So you already made 2 spots, which had the whole pool. Then you made these 2 spots a little more diluted than you did in Double Masters original. Then, of course, you've got good old set that just came out, and I think it's an amazing set, and it has flopped on the secondary market. Just the box prices, though. Just the box prices flipped. The singles haven't flopped fully. The box prices have flopped, right? Which is crazy. It's not at the area of consistently pulling more out of a box, but box prices, I guess you could say, have fallen closer to what you actually pull out of the box. It just means it's still not a terrible box to open. But I think the foil etched slot was a perfect example. How many foil etched mythics did you pull out of those? Or the Legends Retold slots, right? They only made so many Legends Retold. You're gonna get, like, you open 2 boxes, you get like everything. And people have commented, was it Savitri? It was like everybody was getting Savitri out of the mythic. Well, there was 3, 4 mythics that you could pull out of that. You open a couple boxes of that, done deal, you're good. And that's because you didn't have enough assortment, right? So you can go too much or too little. They really have to figure out the pull rate system. And that's some of the issues with their flashy variant areas. Their pull rates are awful. They're either too much or too little. They gotta find the middle ground, and they have been incapable of doing it, and it actually keeps getting worse, which is why all the collector boxes this year, since Kamigawa, have been so poorly received. Even Double Masters collector boxes. People are flipping those right now on secondary markets for like $220 a box right now. It's back to like being below what it was when it first came out because of all this, right? And that takes me into the other part, of course, the economy. The economy is not great, folks. It's not good out there. Inflation's kicking everybody's ass. I'm not going to go into any stuff on that and why. Y'all know why. I don't have to go into detail. We should have had a recession a couple years ago, and we didn't. And, again, positives and negatives. You got to weigh that stuff, and that's where a lot of that comes into play. Was it positive? Was it negative? I don't know. Time will tell. Those aren't things we can just... While you want to be a creature in the moment and think about it now, you really don't have a true sense of reality or the impact of it until you have time. So that kind of takes me into what Wizards did today. Let me get this frickin' straight. So on my Discord, one of the patrons, post a link, and I see it, and I'm kind of like getting ready for work. And, hey, a 30th anniversary. Oh, okay. It's like a collector's edition. Oh, neat. And I'll admit, I got like kind of excited. It's like, oh, hey, collector's edition. Awesome. That's like perfect, isn't it? It's the 30th anniversary. You want to make a splash. A new collector's edition. Fantastic. Gold borders. Yeah, awesome. While I personally have never really been a fan of proxies or things like that, I think that's a pretty good idea. Okay, I think that's not a bad idea. Okay, and it's $1,000. All right, yeah. I mean, all right. I mean, that's a lot, but I guess you are making a WotC reprinted Black Lotus in Moxes, and even though it's not tournament legal or legal at all, I would allow it in Commander if it's a legal card. I wouldn't have a problem with it. It's a casual format. It's cool. So yeah, that's $1,000. $1,000 feels right. I even kind of want one. And then you dig a little deeper, and it's not a collector's set. It's not collector edition or ice. It's 4 fucking packs. With 1 rare per pack. And maybe, and probably out of those 4 packs, 1 other rare, because it'll be in the old border treatment, because they did a 30% pull rate. So not even 25% pull rate. Well, actually, that'd be worse. Not even 50% pull rate. So it means you're going to get 1, maybe 2. You should get 1. Oh, man, that would suck to get 0. Oh, God, that's going to happen. That is going to freaking happen. So you're going to sell 4 packs for $1,000. Oh, God, for me, it'd be $1,100 after tax to have a shot at a proxy Black Lotus or a proxy Power 9. Is that right? Like, I'm not even going to count dual lands on this one. Because they're proxy dual lands. Like, and dual lands aren't nearly at that level of expense. Don't get me wrong. Dual lands are expensive. But we are talking about collector edition here, right? Collector edition Black Lotus is $5,000. But then it sharply jumps down after that. Or I think the next most expensive one is probably, I think it's Time Twister. I think it's like $1,200. Which is still expensive for an officially non-playable card, but I get it. Okay, plus those were more limited. So we also look back at that. People didn't take care, and Rudy has proven this. People didn't take care of their collector editions. They did not take care of them. They are not easy to find in good shape. And so because of that, they do have a certain rarity to them in anything like a decent condition. Because they are not easy to get. So now you create this product. So you're going to put everything out in a modern border. Okay, I don't mind that. But then you're going to make like an extra slot in there for old border versions, which 30% of those would be rares, which is actually means, I'm going to assume that means the whole set. Reason I think that means the whole set is because there was roughly, and I think they're going to take out a few of them. They're going to take out Crusade, Demonic Pact. I don't know what else. So what is it? Like 107, 105 rares, somewhere in that neighborhood. So out of those 4 packs, you're going to get 5 rares out of the 105 in the set for $1,000. How can you even justify this? And I'm going to say exactly, I know exactly how that boardroom went. I know exactly how those conversations went. I know exactly how they justified it. But how the hell do you think this is okay, Wizards? $1,000 for 4 packs of proxies. It's not a game. It's not the game. It's not the game. It's not the game. We're not talking about practice. We're talking about proxies. Yeah, nicely printed proxies, I assume. I assume. Okay? And a lot of proxies out there kind of suck. That's why I don't like them. I don't know. I kind of want my card to have that feel. I know that's stupid, but it's just the way I am. So they'll probably have that feel, I assume. I sure hope so for $1,000 for 4 packs. But here's how that conversation went down. They're sitting there in the strategy planning, and whoever's running the meeting's like, we need a big splash for 30th anniversary. And somebody in the room's like, well, we could always do another collector edition. Those have been, that person that's in charge of tracking such things. Those have actually been doing pretty well out there in popularity on the secondary market. That way, we're still not really messing with the reserve list, and those are going for sealed $20,000 to $30,000 a piece. Then the guy running it, holy crap, $20,000 to $30,000 a piece. Well, yeah, $20,000 to $30,000 a piece. Obviously, they're old, right, and hardly any are in good shape. But maybe we could do something like that for the 30th. We think the fans would get a kick out of that. And everybody's like, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Marketing, what do you got? And, marketing's like, well, if they're $20,000 to $30,000 for the box, then we have to get our cut. So, we can't just charge $1,000 for the thing. So let's put it in a pack format, right? Let's create the excitement to pull in a Black Lotus because people are going to care about that when they essentially get a token version of it. Yeah, because that's going to be as exciting as pulling the real thing. Absolutely. Yeah, because we don't actually play the game or open things or have any clue. Yeah, let's do that. It sounds great. Does that sound like a good idea? It sounds like a good idea. All right. Now, PR, are we going to have any backlash here? Well, we've done these before, and it's not tournament legal, and we've kind of like said that and didn't say that before. So, you know, yeah, I think we're in a good area. We're not actually reprinting the ones you can actually use in a format. These are just collectible cards, right? These are proxies. Sounds good. Let's do it, folks. Let's let it rip. I have to give credit to one of my patrons earlier, Solrina. Kind of made a comment. He kind of made a comment congratulating Wizards for managing to get both sides of the reserve list ideology to both hate a product at the same time. That is amazing. I think if you had released the whole set for $1,000, it still would have been really expensive. There still would have been a little backlash, especially from this side. But you would have sold the crap out of it. Like, it would have flew. That would have done great. But no. Instead, you made it where you might as well open a... No, that's not correct. Yeah, it says playable. You might as well go ahead and rip old packs. I mean, what is a pack of... revised you can't get Power 9 or a bunch of those other things. We can get duels. What's a pack of reserve go for right now? About $300? So for about $300, you are taking a shot at the real card, and at a 10% rate instead of a 5% rate, 4% rate. I gotta do the math. Yes, well, actually, so they actually doubled the dual lands on the old border spreadsheet, so that's not correct. But nonetheless, so you have a better shot at pulling a real dual land out of a $300 pack of revised than you do out of this product. And yes, this product does then have the shot at getting a collector version, I guess you can call it, of Power 9 and a few of the other big cards. But, I mean, seriously? What Guys, whales already have those cards. Like the big whales. They already have them. Are they going to care about this product? I feel like this product was for these people and these people who aren't whales. At least it should have been. Whales already have them. They don't need this crap. They've got the actual thing. And they still might buy this thing anyway. But when does it get to a point that you've bled the whales dry? And when does it get to a point that even the people who aren't whales but can do quite a bit here and here are done? When do you reach that point, and is this that point? And I tend to always, on most subjects, I tend to be in the middle because, again, positives and negatives, right? You gotta weigh them. I don't tend to overreact about things too often, other than freaking out on video and pulling a big card, and that's just because fun and exciting. But on topics like this, I tend to not get too ripped up about things. It's like, because again, it's you gotta weigh it. You gotta weigh it. Most things aren't perfect, so you just don't get bent out of shape about things, right? This is fucking stupid.